Hello everyone, and welcome to day 22 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. And today we are sharing those decks that we don't share, if that makes any sense. The decks that we deem private. I thought that was such a great prompt, and it even surprised me as to how many decks I do own that I use privately. I didn't really think of it so much before. So without further ado, I'll show you a few of them. One example is the Voyage Attero. The Voyage Attero is quite unique, to say the least. The whole idea is to invoke feelings and memories and spark emotions. This is fantastic for journaling, for shadow work, for in-depth psychological journeying. What is it that you see? What is it that stands out to you when you gaze at this image? So even doing a one-card draw can take you on quite a journey, let alone 3 cards, 5 cards, and so on. I like this deck because it is different. And I also like the guidebook. I enjoyed reading his philosophy on tarot and the intro in the guidebook. This deck was actually gifted to me, and at first I thought, oh, I'm not sure whether this is my cup of tea. And so I can totally understand, you know, when people look at it thinking, no, I'm not going to buy that. But because it was gifted to me by a very good friend, I decided to take the time and have a little play around with it. And I am so glad I did. It's almost like, you know, when you have certain decks that are good for certain things. And for me, it's like a feeling of clearing out the lower floors of my psyche. You know, like basement level 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a deck that I have no intention of sharing with or using professionally. But I think I will always keep it. I can't see it going anywhere. And the same goes for the Elemental Tarot. You know I love Carolyn Smith. This deck, again, it's unique in its way as well. The artwork is bright and kind of funky and a little unusual. I love the fact that it has astrological associations. It incorporates keywords. And sometimes you'll get like a phrase or a sentence down the side of a card. It's out of the ordinary. It's like a little system within itself. And this deck was originally gifted to me also by a friend of mine who worked in publishing. So this was hot off the press. And I kept it for some years. And then when I moved house, I had a clear out, and I thought I was being very, very constructive. And I gave it away. And last year I just went, oh my God, I like fell into regret. What did I do that for? Why did I do that? And I had to track it down again. And I'm very, very lucky. I didn't pay much for this at all. And it is in perfect condition. So I'm very happy to have this back in my collection. And again, it's all about journeying. But that's the thing. It's so different. And that's what I love. So different from the Voyager. So again, it just takes me to a different place. The colours, I just love it. Oh, forgot to tell you, that's what I call digital nudity. You have to be careful. There's quite a bit of that in this deck, actually, so I better be a little more careful. But anyway, I think you get the idea. There is the Elemental Tarot. Now, alongside that, one deck I purchased specifically for inner work, psychological journeying. You know, the Osho Zen. It does have a backbone, and it's here to give you the psychological truth of what's going on. The reason I bought it in the first place is to take a personal journey. So again, it's almost like, you know, of all the decks you've got, you're so happy for anyone to pick them up and shuffle them and have a play. And there are others where I just think, oh, no, I don't want anyone else picking that deck up. It's interesting. It's almost like the deck told me that, not the other way around. That's how I felt about Osho Zen. Same thing for Nicoletta Ciccoli. I purchased this deck just for myself, for my own journey work again. As you can see, this is the mini. And you probably think, what a crazy thing to do to buy the mini, considering the artwork is so amazing. I saw this little deck sitting on the shelf in a beautiful shop in Melbourne, and it was just too adorable. I thought I have to buy it. I just can't resist it. And you know, even though they're small, I feel like I can still see the details in the artwork. So great for, I don't know, like dreamy psychological journeys for me. And shadow work, of course. So, yes, this is another one for my eyes only. Another deck that I bought specifically to work with alone is the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. Well, I think the title says it all. It is the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. So you're not going to lay that out in front of your clients who come to ask about finances, surely. This deck is very interesting. It is complex. You need the book. I think you need to study in order to understand the intricacies of this deck, and I love that. I bought it as a study deck. I bought it because I wanted to understand more about ceremonial magic. And you can see down here, now I cannot, because it's been so long now since I've read the book, must be a year, I can't remember the name. These little symbols here, they're like gateways or stamps, whatever they call them, but that's to invoke, you know, certain angels, angelic beings, spirit, and then another one, I think, to seal it afterwards. It has astrological associations. You even get dates, you get degrees, you get tatwa, you get I Ching, you get Hebrew letters. This deck has the lot. When I first purchased the deck, I wasn't that keen on the artwork. Yet, I grew to love this deck big time. I grew to appreciate this deck for what it is. It's all about ceremonial magic. It's not about being pretty. And ironically, though, the colours are really starting to appeal to me. And I presume, again, like some of the Rider-Waite-Smith systems, you know, the colours actually have great significance. But anyway, that deck I purchased for my own study journey. And another one that I received only last night and haven't had the chance to embrace this deck yet is the Spirit of the Wheel. I actually purchased this from a lovely lady who happens to live on the other side of town, and she popped this on to one of the Facebook groups. And I was so pleased to see it because this has been on my radar for quite a while. The whole idea of purchasing this deck is for, again, like personal journey. I love the fact that it's nature and like elementally driven. It's just beautiful in every way, and I don't even know how it works yet. I'm so thrilled to have this deck, and I love the fact that it's pre-loved. You know, it's in perfect condition. But she just felt it was time for her to move on, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that because now it is my personal deck. So I don't feel the desire to spread that deck far and wide either. Along with the other one I bought from her, which is this, the Shaman's Oracle. I have wanted this deck for quite a while. And ironically, I did pick this up when I was in Melbourne in August last year, and I put it back on the shelf. I don't know. You just wonder about yourself sometimes, don't you? I'm really looking forward to getting to know this deck. And again, I just feel that it was designed for personal journey, journaling, digging deep, but not putting out on the professional tarot table. So I might do, well, I did mention actually earlier I was going to do a bit of a walkthrough. So I'll save, you know, save the chat for then. Before I go, there's one more special deck. This is not a deck that I use very often, but that's because it's precious. It's not a deck for everyday questions as far as I'm concerned. It's not a, that'll do. It's quite the opposite. And that deck is the Medicine Woman. I purchased the Medicine Woman deck in Sedona, Arizona, a place that I never wanted to leave. It was a magnificent experience being there. And you know, there are vortices everywhere. Not only are there vortices, they have some amazing crystal and metaphysical stores, obviously. It is Sedona. And one in particular, it was very large, and they had the most incredible stock. Crystals and metaphysical tools, and a very decent selection of tarot. But as soon as I saw this box, I thought, oh my goodness, I have to have this. I bought a few decks, but this one here, I straight away took myself off to a vortex, and I opened this deck and sat with this deck on that red soil until, well, the sun went down, basically. They're all upside down. So it was a magical experience for me. And every time I pick up this deck, I feel like I'm back in Sedona. I feel like I can sense that energy. You know, the vortices are very, very powerful. And this deck, again, I love the fact that it tells its own story. It promotes culture and tradition and nature and the elements, family, community, elders. It's my Gaia deck. I don't have the dreams of Gaia. This is my Gaia deck. I love this deck. It's beautiful. And again, it is precious. It's just not for any old question. So this deck has never been touched by anyone but myself. Clean, cleared and cleansed in Sedona. What else can I say? Very, very special. Now, that is it for me, although there is one more. Folks, this is it. This parcel just arrived. You know what's in here? It's the Gill Tarot. So I'm about to do my own unboxing of the Gill, but I'm just mentioning it because this is a deck that will be for my use only. This deck will be my companion forevermore. I'm very excited, and it's so special to me because my friend in Los Angeles bought this deck for me for my birthday. It was a complete surprise. I don't know where she got it from. She told me she found it for a very reasonable price. What does that mean? She is not a tarotist, but she is a mighty researcher. Bless her. And she just sent it over. So I am beyond excited. So I'm going to go and open it now. In the meantime, I think that's it for me. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but I'm sure that's enough decks for this prompt. Goodness me. Oh my God. There is one more. You know what it is? How could I forget? The Magician's deck. This deck I use in short, sweet bouts. Like I'll use it and use it again, and then it'll go back on the shelf for some months. And then I'll find, you know, for a week, I'm going crazy with this deck. I feel like this calls. This says, hey, listen, hasn't it been, you know, long enough? Let's go. We have work to do. It's almost like this deck tells me what to do. I don't tell the deck what to do. And I love it. It commands its authority. And again, I have no intention in using this friends, family, clients. No way. This is a journey deck, to say the least. This is a I'm going to crack the whip deck, and I love it. It will make no excuses for you. And I love that. So there you have it. That is the last deck that is on my For My Eyes Only list. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.